if you are looking for the PR perspective, it's very difficult for my friend.
Welcome to Bani Abroad. So, many of you were asking me about the difference between UK and Canada. And finally, we do have a guest here, Abhishek, and he'll be shedding light into what happens in UK about everything from studies to living costs, and I'll be shedding light on the Canada portion. So, let's get started and welcome my guest, Abhishek.
My name is Abhishek Singh and I come from a village in Rajasthan that's called Chambal, and I'm an undergraduate in mechanical engineering. With that, I hold 2 years of experience in retail, and while working in retail, I kind of realized my focus should be towards project management, because I was thinking like I'm kind of good with communication skills. So that's why I inclined my interest towards project management, and I've come over here in London. I'm studying currently in Kingston University. My course name is Projects in System Management. It's a 2 year course. Basically, it's 1 year, but 1 year with internship. That makes it 2 years. And there is this policy by UK government over here. If you get your academics done within a year, and if you are able to secure the placement, then the course will be of 2 year. If you're not able to secure the placement, your visa will be curtailed and you'll send back straight away to your home.
Thank you for the introduction, Abhishek. And the last statement was quite scary that people would be sent back. So we'll talk about that also. And regarding myself, I think most of you know about my qualifications, but those of you who are new to the channel, so I did my engineering back in India, specifically electronics and communication. And in Canada, I studied Master of Management from the Schulich School of Business. Now comes the most crucial question, which will be the make or the break factor when you are considering of applying either to Canada or the UK. And the question is, will you be allowed to stay in that country, and what are the work prospects after that, and eventually will you be able to get PR? So let's shed some light on that. So Abhishek, I want to start it with the PGWP thing. So in Canada, the thing is that if you are doing a 2 year degree, then you will get 3 years of postgraduate work permit, and for that you do not have to find a job before applying. It's that you'll have 3 years to find a job and you can stay there, and eventually people find a path and they apply for the PR, so they are settled in Canada through that process. And for example, if the course is 1 year, they'll get 1 year work permit, and it's not that they have to find a job before applying for that 1 year work permit. But how does that work in London or the UK?
Now, from this year, 2021, April 2021, PSW is coming into scenario, post study work visa. So students will be allowed to look for the jobs for next 2 years as well. So that makes 4 years for a student, 2 years for your course, 2 years for the PSW. After, let me tell you one thing very clearly, like these 4 years will not be counted in your PR. Okay, so when you will apply for the PR, these 4 years will not be counted for that. The years which will be counted for the PR will be when you will be on tier 2 visa, when you will have an employer with you who will sponsor your visa separately from his company. So that's get pretty arduous for a person. Apart from that, you will have to have yourself in this country on tier 2 visa for 4 to 5 years at least. Then you'll have to shift yourself on tier 1, but it depends. You can be on tier 2 as much as you want till the time your sponsor is sponsoring you. I'm talking about the time spent. You have to spend at least 10 years to get the PR, and yeah, so it's literally very difficult to survive in UK. So yeah, if you are looking for the PR perspective, it's very difficult for my friend. You'll have to find ways.
Can you elaborate about tier 2? And also, I have this one question. Suppose that you get that 2 year of PSW that you're talking about, and what's the full form? I would like to know about that as well. And is that final? Because I was doing this research and I was seeing that they are considering this law, but they maybe haven't passed it. And one another question is that if you are on the PSW, but if you find an employer who can sponsor you, so if then would those 2 years be counted towards the PR, or it's only after the end of PSW that those years start counting towards your PR?
Well, that's a very
So
great
many
question, Vani.
questions. Sorry.
No, not a
I'll
problem.
just
Then
pick
I'm
one
I'm
for you.
happy. I'm happy to
Okay.
answer. Well, that's a very great question. So yeah, talking about from the scratch, and yeah, for the 2 years of PSW, let's just say you get a sponsor. So the last 2 years of PSW will not be counted. Okay, so your years for the PR will be counted from the time when you have got the employer with you to sponsor you for the tier two. Tier two is the visa which is sponsored by the employer. When you like when you find a job in so and so sector and there is a person who is ready to sponsor you, that you are liable to live in the country. Okay, after that, talking about the full form of the PSW, which stands for post study work visa, and uh, talking about the tier 1 is like you are on tier 1, basically you can do business and you can't do jobs. Okay, so you can be the owner of the business, or you can probably come in UK with a business idea. You can launch a startup over here, but you'll not be a person who will be working. Okay, when you want to work, you'll have to have tier 2 visa or some other visa. Okay, some other visa, as in depends on the designation, depends on the kind of firm you are associated with, depends, spouse visa, dependent visa, student visa is there, that is tier 4. So it depends.
So, as Abhishek mentioned, if you are considering of settling in a country where you want to study, then you shouldn't choose UK because it would take lots and lots of years, and maybe it's not even certain. For Canada, I'll tell you this thing. So, if you are coming here to study for 2 years and then you have 3 years to gather work experience, the Canadian experience, and eventually almost everyone gets a PR here if they do not have anything which is objectionable and if they meet all the requirements. So if you want PR, then Canada is the place. And one more thing that I like about Canada is that after getting a PR, you can even sponsor your parents. So if you are the one who holds family very close to your heart, then also Canada is the place for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Abhishek, considering that you knew about the PR thing, I would like to know why did you apply to London and what are your plans? Like, are you thinking of migrating to another country, or are you thinking that you just wanted the study exposure and then you'll go back to India and do some business or do a job? So, what's your perspective on this?
My perspective is, since I wanted to do the project management, and like you can get a degree from anywhere. I believe in that way. Like, so UK was something which was getting the admission done within 1.5 month or 1 month. So I didn't waste much time, and I was like let's just not look for the prestigious universities, because if you don't have the skill, nobody will hire you. So you gotta have the confidence in yourself. You gotta have the confidence in your headspace to deal with the things. Talking about my plans, like currently I'm working as a project analyst in a company called Seed. So after getting done with my 2 years over here, I'll probably look for an employer who can sponsor me tier 2, or then I'll transfer to tier 1 by putting up my own startup or stuff like that. If I'm failed to I have failed to get any sort of employer for tier 2, I'll move to USA or Canada for the PR or further education or any sort of work visa. Not for further education, I'll go for work visa that can easily come, and that is my plan. That's all.
Thank you for being honest. Now it's time for some fun questions. So Abhishek, like, can you find Indian food there easily accessible? Like the raw food, the atta, chawal, pickle, the masalas. Can you find those easily there?
Yeah, you will be able, but you'll have to do some research. There are some areas which are like totally Indian areas. So many people are staying, like Hounslow is there, South Hall is there, Wembley is there. There are so many areas where only Indians are staying. So you can find all these things. But when you go to areas like Kingston, Central London, South London, you'll not find much things over there, because you'll find white people over there. So you'll have to do a lot of hustling and bustling to get all these things. So yeah, it depends again on the area which you are staying in.
Okay. So for Canada, I would say that since a lot of Indians are immigrating here, in Walmart you can get almost all of the stuff which you need for your raw material when you're cooking Indian food. Regarding other stores, there are Indian stores also, but then obviously you need to find the location. Walmart is present basically everywhere, so you can just order online and you'll have everything. And Abhishek, in UK, like, what's the one store, the generic store where everyone does their grocery shopping?
The name of the store is Asda. ASDA. You'll find everything over there. Whatever you want to find, you'll find over there.
So if you are going to UK, remember that name. So we have talked about Indian food. Now let's talk about Indians. So do you see a lot of Indians there? Obviously, in some areas there would be more Indians, but holistically in your cohort, what's the percentage of Indians, or like what's the number of Indians in your cohort? And also, apart from Indians, are there people from diverse nationalities, or is it just the local people there and the Indians?
See, to be very frank, I start from the basic from in my course this year. Okay, in this batch, I have 95 Indians out of 100 people. Okay, in my batch. Okay, but it happened.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it happened for this year only. Before that, it wasn't like that way. It was 17 to 80 or 19 people. Okay, out of that 11 or 12 people from diverse regions. So, and talking about the people, there are some areas where you'll find Indians only who have come over here since years, and you will find a lot of Indian students for the last like 3-4 years. It has come into scenario that now the PSW has started coming into the scene. So you can see a lot of Indians, but soon it will go because it's not that easy to find an opportunity in London or like to the place like UK. So people migrate and go back easily. So you'll not find much students.
But it's really astonishing that you mentioned that even in previous years it was 70 or 80 Indians in a cohort of 100 people, right? Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, that's the perspective there. And regarding PR, obviously it's much more difficult than it is in Canada. And one question about PSW. So, has the rule been passed, or is it just under contemplation?
See, it is the rule has been like it has been announced by the Home Office, and colleges are waiting to get that order. And I don't know, like it is so like highly affirmed. I'll say like everybody is believing like we are into PSW. It is announced on the news. It has been done, but since talking about my college, and it hasn't been like properly like validated by UK VI. So I'm still waiting, but as having a word with my placement coordinator, he mentioned me PSW forms are going to be coming in November. You can fill out the forms and you will be getting 2 years of PSW.
So that's a great news if the law has been passed. But suppose if it doesn't get passed, so then what is the criteria, and like what's the time limit that students can stay in UK?
So if the rule is not passed, you will be given 4 months after your degree to secure a tier 2 visa employer or sponsor, I would say. And 4 months after that, like suppose your degree is ending in Jan, Feb, March, April, May. After that, your visa will be curtailed and you'll be sent back home.
So there is this pressure, and if PSW gets passed and if everything gets in place, then it's very good. But still, from the perspective of PR, eventually, then not. But if you want to study there and gain some experience and then come back to your country, then it's fine. And let's hope that gets passed. But stay careful, stay cautious until the announcement comes and until you know that it's 100% coming. So till then, be cautious and act accordingly. Apart from this, there's one very important question about racial discrimination, because it's important that where you are studying, where you're living, you feel comfortable and people do appreciate you. So did you or any of your friends encounter anything like that in London, or is there any hidden discrimination that you think that maybe you don't see it, but deep down people do think that they are superior than the people who are coming from abroad?
Yeah. So earlier the scene was like I'm gonna start it from scratch. Earlier the scene was before this Brexit happened. International students were the third priority to secure a job. Before that, British people used to come. The second were European people. Then the third were international people. After the Brexit, international student has secured the second place. Now, when you go to secure a job, what happens is obviously they favor whites. Okay, there is no doubt in that. But when you have the skill, when you have the talent, and if you have the guts to speak, and you will land up a job. But talking about the racial discrimination, you will experience it, but in few of the areas. Okay, depends on the area. Like there is a area like Croydon, and there is a area like Wellington. There are so many people who will try to do this with you. You gotta stay calm and serene and seraphic at that point of time, and you gotta manage everything. But there are few areas where you will love everything. There are people who treats Indians pretty well. I've seen. I am friend with a lot of white people, and they are amazing. So you're gonna experience it, but at the same point of time, you just can't rely, and you just can't, like, be on the fact, like, people are gonna treat you bad. So you will experience it for sure, but not that much.
In Canada, I would say that neither me nor any of my friends have witnessed it firsthand. It's just that the thing is that if you have PR, things easen out for you because they know that they won't require to sponsor you in the future and you are there. So these are also factors that come into play, and they obviously want someone who can be retained in the company and who they wouldn't want to pay extra money just to retain that person. But holistically speaking, I would say that it is a beautiful country. There are beautiful things to see out here, and people generally are kind hearted. And as Canadians are famous, they are so polite. They will hold doors for you, they will respect you. So, there's nothing that you need to fear about in this case. So, this was about it. And if you have any more queries regarding Canada or regarding London, hit those queries in the comment box, and Abhishek and I'll make sure that we respond to those. And Abhishek was humble enough not to introduce one another aspect of his life, but he's very active on Instagram. So I'll put the link here and you can check his profile and you can contact him regarding any queries that you might have about London. Thank you, Abhishek, so much.
Thank you, Bani. Thank you for having me on this chat. It's really pleasure to have you over here.
Thank you, Abhishek, for this lovely closing. And yes, if you like this video, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button and like the video, and also press that bell icon.